9 February 2023, MAO with Kel once again. Alright, Biden has sent a very strong statement to China. Alright, very strong statement. And of course, we all know that it's due to the balloon incident. Alright, so I'll share you more in details and the pathway of the balloon. And of course, let's watch Biden, what he said last night. And I'll be honest with you, pretty impressed with his strong voice. So maybe he is not going to resign this year. Let's take a look then. Alright, so the thing is this, I think it's not resign the word, I think they're more stepping down, okay. Anyway, thank you Ames for the kind sponsorship, and of course, make sure you do your risk assessment, everybody. Disclaimer apply as usual. Now, let's just recap of what happened last night, okay. Last night, the Dow Jones down by 207 points, Nasdaq 232 points. So basically, the gain that they had the previous day is all given back once again. So what actually happened? Well, it's just a bit of ping pong between the companies. So one moment, they are buying up 300 points worth. Tomorrow, they sell 300 points down. Then up at 200 points again, and get back to 100 points. The market is just basically moving sideways and consolidating, waiting for the big movement to come. The one on the highlight was last night, Tesla went up again by 2.28% up to 201. Alright, so crossed the 200 mark finally. So of course I won't deny this. Basically it's alright, Tesla is now on a riding up momentum. Alright, is it because of the earnings is fantastic? We all know that earnings wasn't good. Is it got people buying Tesla right now? Well, we also heard that the sales is okay, but it's not anywhere fantastic. So what's going on? Well, basically a lot of short covering. This is what I see from the market. While Amazon was down by 2%, Apple down by 1.7%, and the biggest loss was from Google, down by 7.68%. So what happened on Google? It was because of the AI bot. All right, the AI bot itself called bot. All right, this is the main thing that actually give a problem for Google. I'll talk about that later. So now the thing is this, the Nasdaq shit 1.7 points because of the corporate earning according to CNBC. But more important thing is that the 42 companies that have released their earnings, okay, they issued negative earnings guidance. All right, that means that companies, about 10%, has issued negative earnings guidance. So that is not a very good sign. And of course, some of them didn't change their guidance, and basically overall it's more to negative than positive. Now at the moment now, 69% of the 297 companies have reported fourth quarter. They have beat estimates, but do understand this, they have lowered the estimate a lot before coming to the quarter result. So it's not a very clear and fair way to assess right now, but definitely it's subpar. Yes, that's how I feel it too. Okay, anyway, this is the S&P 500. So it kickstart with a rally here until this point, then a very strong sell-off and a very strong double bottom, pick it up once again. Now this V-shape has been seen throughout the last few days. So every time the market pump it up and then push it down, then they bottom it and again goes again. So it shows that a lot of bot is involved in this, a lot of algorithm kicking in and out just to basically go by the day, because everybody now is just waiting for the next inflation data and see what is the stand of the Federal Reserve. So at the moment now, let's look at Alphabet. All right, the AI bot called BOT cost them $100 billion of losses, people in the way. Why? Because apparently this happened during a so-called presentation. All right, Google Chat GPT, okay, rival bot, give wrong answer in the advertisement during the interview and caused the share really diving down. But of course, the main thing is that this is not a good sign, because everybody expected Google to do something better, or at least same level with Microsoft, but seemingly it's not happening. All right, and more important thing is that this is something that you must take note. Okay, if let's say that they are doing this right now, Google is a search engine, right, and they come out AI bot to actually help and replace the findings, but the problem is that means that all the list of links or the ranking itself will not be there, and that will actually hit back their own business model, which is more advertising. All right, so this is something very interesting, because it's something like Kodak last time, right? Remember Kodak? Kodak was the one that they do a lot of films, and people are buying their films and they're making a lot of money from there. Then they came out digital camera, and then of course what we know, when digital camera come out, right, people start to use it, but they don't buy into the film. So by the end of the day, Kodak got hit. So it's like they created something for themselves, for the world, but end of the day, they get it from the market on its own. So remember this? Yes, indeed. So I just got this same feeling that this may be happening again for Google if they continue to spend more money to do this AI bot itself. All right, let's just see what happened during the presentation. Then you will understand more in detail. Let's take a look.
Google's new, highly touted AI chatbot Bard has already made a boo-boo. Introduced this week, Bard was touted in an online ad by Google that ran in the company's Twitter feed. In the tweet, Google described the chatbot as a launchpad for curiosity that would help simplify complex topics, and it included a short GIF video ad of Bard in action. In the ad, Bard is given the prompt, quote, "What new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, can I tell my 9-year-old about?" Bard responds with a number of answers, including one suggesting the JWST was used to take the very first pictures of a planet outside the Earth's solar system, or exoplanets. This is inaccurate. The first pictures of exoplanets were taken by the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in 2004, as confirmed by NASA. The error was spotted hours before Google hosted a launch event for Bard in Paris, where a Google senior executive touted Bard as the future of the company. Google's launch event came one day after Microsoft unveiled plans to integrate its rival AI chatbot ChatGPT into its Bing search engine and other products. As for Bard's mistake, a Google spokesperson told Reuters, quote, "This highlights the importance of a rigorous testing process, something that we're kicking off this week, so that, quote, Bard's responses meet a high bar for quality, safety, and groundedness in real-world information."
All right, so you heard it for your own, right? I mean, I'm so sorry to pronounce it. It's called Bard. But the thing is that I think you came up with a better name, honestly. But anyway, the thing is this. Let's hope that Google do something for themselves. But the way I look at it, this could be a bit of trouble for them. Yep. Okay, moving on. Well, Disney came out pretty good earnings. Okay, if you look at it right now, the income from continuing operation before income tax was okay, higher than the December figure. Okay, that was pretty okay. All right, then after that, we have the operating income, not bad. Okay, dropped a little bit, still okay. And then the net income was higher. Okay, but the thing is, if you look down, the EPS excluding certain items has went down. The cash used in continuing operation is negative, and the free cash flow is very negative. So why is happening right now? I think there's something that they utilize it to play around with the numbers. And of course, the company just announced a 7,000 jobs cuts. All right, so it's good because you saved out some money, but it's bad. That means that these people are going to be part of the unemployment data coming soon. So all these tells you that now corporations are not doing that well, right? Even though we are back to this post-COVID time. So anyway, now we have is that the Disney share is much higher now in the post-market data, pre-market, in fact. So let's just see whether Disney can continue the march up later on. All right. Okay. The thing is this, the POP, the public offering price. Now, apparently, the price at which mutual funds are offered for sale to public, all right, is for offering price. Apparently, this thing is having a bit of problem right now. It's coming down a little bit, yeah? So you can see that the S&P 500, let me just show you some clear shot drawing. Let me just bring to you right now. Okay, moment. Let me change the color. Okay, this is not good enough. Wait, choose something better. Choose white then. Okay, so you can see that when the data are off and become negative, you can see that that is where the S&P 500 pulls back. Okay, so again, when it happened again, that is where the S&P pulls back. Okay, so of course, if you look at it again over here, that is where the S&P pull back. And of course, back here itself, the S&P pullback. All right. So now where we are now at this point here. So obviously it's a pullback. Hence, therefore, the market is coming off. Okay. The thing is this, with the current situation right now, with higher interest rate coming in and earnings are fantastic, it is very, very possible to see something around here because that is the usual minus 20 level. Of course, this is not the same, but of the 3 times. All right. So year 2000 was during the post Nasdaq crisis, and then we have SARS. Then in 08-09 Lehman crisis. Then of course 2020 we have was COVID cases. So well, what do you think will happen? That is one thing to take note of. So traders, you need, or long-term investors, I think that you can go slow with your investment. You ask me. But of course, now everybody is now looking at the most important data coming up. That will be the CPI data. Okay, it's coming out soon, yeah? So the CPI data itself, right, everybody really want to know because it's happened to be the Valentine's Day. So the thing is, we have a very interesting thing here. I'll show to you now. The market is looking at a lower number, okay, which is from 6.5 to 6.2. So of course, a lower CPI is good because that means that inflation is being taken down, right? Or at least is slowing. But if you look at what happened over here, let me just push that thing again. Nick from this Wall Street Journal, he is actually saying that Powell on getting inflation down, this process is likely to take quite a bit of time. It's not going to be, and we don't think so, smooth. It's probably going to be bumpy. Now, this word that the words he's using, right, shows that they may know that the CPI data, or because the thing is this, according to news, they say that normally they only get the CPI data 1 day before, okay, 1 day before, all right, so we don't know how it's going to be interpreted in this way, but still, the words he used, and we know Nick is actually a mouthpiece of the Federal Reserve, so I just feel that the data may not be 6.2, all right, I'm going to put my thing here, so I think it'll be a 6.3 if you ask me then. Of course, if it be lower than 6, then that would be fantastic because we also know that the BLS was being instructed to do some changes to the calculation of CPI. So let's see what happened. But very interesting, right? There's two Fed officials came out, right? One is Kashkari. He came in and said that the strong job data show need for more hikes, okay? And in fact itself, right, this guy think that, right, the Fed fund should hit at least 5.4%, okay? There's the thing here, now it's at 4.25, 4.5, he's looking at 5.4, okay? So that is the number that he's looking at, and how does it look like? This is how it looks like, okay? All right. The other Fed official is Christopher Waller. He also thinks that, right, the interest rate should go higher than expected because he also thinks that, right, if you don't do it right now, inflation will be, be a runaway. So 2, 3, okay, himself, Kashkari, Christopher, and Jerome Powell, all three of them are actually hinting or directly saying that the interest rate need to go higher. So that means that whatever Wall Street have been telling people that, okay, don't worry, we should be fine, seemingly it's not following. So are they fighting the Federal Reserve or they have something that we don't know? So let's just look at it further. Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting, okay? Now, this is the US Dow Jones technical chart. I want to show you something here. All right, right here itself, right, basically you can see on your screen right now that this is the A. Now, this is my B, and this is my C, and this is my D, and this is E. Okay, now what you're seeing here is, right, every time only when the market breaks a very long-term technical chart, then that is where you can see some real selling, okay? And you can see from this point here now, X, Y, Z, you can see that the market is holding up this XYZ trend line very closely here, and we are now basically at the 61.8 Fibonacci, which is about 33,770 level. So, well, by Fibonacci, if the market stay above 33,769, there is a chance that the market breaks the trend line and then start to go higher. We can see it going back all the way to the all-time high. But the thing is that with the interest rate environment right now at this 4.25 to 4.5 and most likely go to 5 to 5.25, usually the stock market will come off, right? So now how I always see this, right, guys, is that a bit of mixed bag, yeah. If you look at the technical on the RSI, you can see that this is like give you another numbering. This is, let's say, W, and this is, let's say, this is gonna be okay, like get T. Okay, make it simple, T and W. Okay, so what you're gonna see right here is that T and W shows that the market is actually higher for W area. So this is actually bullish. Because when a common area, but the price, the cycle is higher, it's actually bullish then. But the thing is that as of now itself, we can see the RSI is actually staying around 56 level. So the common, resistance 61, and of course the high is 70. So there is a possibility for the market to go higher and push the Dow Jones up, okay? It is possible. But I'm going to stay here very clear, but you can also see that the 61.8 or 33,770 is very critical for the market for many, many days. And the trend line have been touched several times, enough time. So usually when all these things happen, right, it is very, very possible that the market, that the market can actually break down. I repeat, the market can actually break down, meaning that if the market suddenly can't hold too long, and once it break down, right, it will send the selling pretty fast. All right, so the thing is this, I will just say that, guys, take note this number, 33,770. Take note of that. As long as the Dow Jones stays above it, we're still fine for the upside. But if the Dow Jones goes below this and stay below that, then the next wave of selling should be able to bring the Dow Jones all the way down to 32,786 level. Okay? All right, so that is a technical side. Now, the China air balloon saga. So apparently now, the G7 member states are discussing whether to sanction companies in China, Iran, North Korea, starting again. So of course, the reason is because they say that they provided Russia with the technology and for military purposes and blah, blah, blah. But we all know that all these things only happened because of the balloon, okay? So the balloon itself was a main thing. Now, the Chinese balloon, right, seemingly is not only one to America. It seems that it's a flea. It's a flea. And it went to many countries, in fact, okay? And from our own China News Asia, it says that China gave out intel secret with balloon shoot down. Okay, this is something interesting. And Bloomberg even said that it's part of the years-long spying program. Wow, okay. So getting a bit serious, yeah? And of course, the thing is that now, apparently, Chinese balloon have been spotted over 5 continents, apparently. And CNN reported that there's a Chinese balloon hovering above Taiwan. All right, all these are happening around, but you notice that mainstream media is keeping very quiet. So now US has briefed 40 nations on a China spy balloon. All right, 40 nations, okay? And feel that, right, this whole thing itself is not easy. And of course, China says that US is overreacting. But think about this: if you have the balloon at your home itself, right? I think no one will like that feeling too. Correct? Yeah, indeed. So they have basically picked up the balloon, all right, from the sea, and of course, it is causing a lot of stir right now. Okay, because it's so big. How big it is as big as 3 buses, all right? That's the size of it. That's a very, very big balloon. And crazy enough, when they look at it, they have a super big solar battery, all right, that's inside there. That means that they can really fly for distance. And the thing is according to Chinese media, they say that the balloon just went off track, but inside the balloon, they found a remote controller. So which means that it's actually fully remote controlled from a very, very far place. So this is one thing that you must understand. And the craziest part is this: if this balloon is a weather balloon, then the direction they are heading doesn't make sense, because now currently the wind pattern and the direction shows should be the other way around, right? More to the left side, but apparently they're going to the other side, which is coming to the US side. So that means that it doesn't make sense, all right? So let's watch some video on this particular area. Let's take a look, and you can see that the pathway the balloon went, and it's going to be very interesting. Let's watch this.
On our airport, and this thing is up in the sky.
This thing, now believed by the United States to be a Chinese government spy balloon, flying 60,000 feet up in the atmosphere over the country.
We do know that the balloon has violated U.S. airspace and international law, which is unacceptable.
U.S. defense officials have been tracking it closely for several days, debating whether to shoot it down and advising President Joe Biden it would be too dangerous.
We assess that it does not pose a risk to people on the ground as it currently is traversing the continental United States. And so, out of an abundance of caution, cognizant of the potential impact to civilians on the ground from a debris field, right now we're going to continue to monitor and review options.
The news breaking just days before Secretary of State Antony Blinken was due to travel to Beijing, the administration's highest level trip to China so far. The trip now postponed, despite a rare Chinese apology and claim that the balloon was for civilian purposes and floated off course.
The presence of this surveillance balloon in U.S. airspace is a clear violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law, that it's an irresponsible act, and that the PRC's decision to take this action on the eve of my planned visit is detrimental to the substantive discussions that we were prepared to have.
The Pentagon says steps have been taken to protect sensitive intelligence targets on the ground. The balloon is the size of 3 buses, equipped with solar panels for power and a surveillance payload. Satellite and other data indicate the balloon may have originated in central China, with weather patterns pushing it out over the Pacific Ocean into Canada and down into the United States, where it has been crossing Montana and into Missouri. It can maneuver itself and has changed course, currently floating over the central U.S., officials say, while offering little more on its precise location.
The public certainly has the ability to look up in the sky and see where the balloon is.
And they have, curiously training eyes and cameras towards the skies.
What planet is that?
All right, so what do you think, guys? pretty clear that this balloon is definitely more a surveillance, right, if you ask me. But again, well, let's let the market look at it. If things get bad, then we just have to be standby on the stock market. Yep. Okay, now let me show you this very important video, right? Apparently, Biden came in, right, and was very strong with some of the words he used during his session at State of the Union. All right, let's watch it right now, and you will feel the difference of Biden, right? Let's take a look.
Technologies, so they will not be used against us. Modernizing our military to safeguard stability and deter aggression. Today, we're in the strongest position in decades to compete with China or anyone else in the world. Anyone else in the world. And I'm committed. I'm committed to work with China where we can advance American interests and benefit the world. But make no mistake about it. As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did. Look, let's be clear. Winning the competition should unite all of us. We face serious challenges across the world. But in the past 2 years, democracies have become stronger, not weaker. Autocracies have grown weaker, not stronger. Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one. America's rallying the world to meet those challenges, from climate to global health, to food insecurity, to terrorism, to territorial aggression. Allies are stepping up, spending more, and doing more. Look, the bridges we're forming between partners in the Pacific and those in the Atlantic, and those who bet against America are learning how wrong they are. It's never, ever been a good bet to bet against America. Never.
Wow, look at the statement, look at the applause, let's listen to it, look at it. Wow, this is a very strong statement from Biden, and wow, never bet against America. So are you telling us the short sellers itself should really stand down now and run away? Is it the reason why the stock market is going up relentlessly? Even the earnings is bad, no, the market just keep on pushing up. Well, not too sure, but definitely this is one of the best speech he gave. And I think that, well, that could be a good reason why the stock market can go higher, right? So that is why I say it's a very strong statement, and hopefully things will go better, all right? Okay. All right, remember the part he actually says that, name me one leader. That was a very interesting way of telling his people. Okay. Anyway, let's go to the charts right now and see what we have for you today. Okay. Now, first of all, we have a crazy consolidation. Now, do note, the market has been consolidating within this range about 2,000 points, between 34,600 to 32,500, a 2,000 point range. And of course, from this day onwards until now, this is like going to the 70th day, the market is still swinging here. And the thing is that the range got even smaller recently, between 33,000 to 34,600. In fact, it's even shorter now, somewhere around here. This is the new range. Well, this is the new range that we have right now. It's between about 1,200 points. And the last time we see something like this playing around, should be around here. For the last 30 days, as I mentioned, the last 30 days, the market have been doing this ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So question is, are we going to see a breakout and that we're going to see back 35,000, or is it going to come down? Right? Leave a comment for me and we'll see this more. But as long as the market stays above the KFC level, my TWB indicator, that means that the market should be still bullish for time being. All right? Okay, for the Nasdaq, you can see still very strong. The last few days, I've been trying to every day sell up, then buy it up, then sell down, then probably going to buy up again. As long as the market stays above this point, 12,060, I think the Nasdaq is still good, okay? And of course, last but not least, we have the gold market. Gold has left the KFC level. This level, KFC is 1921. And I mentioned to you guys, as long as the gold drops below 1921, gold will come down. And truth be told, after the day that the gold broke below 1921, gold came down all the way to 1862, the level that I mentioned. Remember, I said about 1860, the market will come here, and the market really came down. Now, I'm going to give you one more thing. If the market now stays above the 1865 region, okay, no problem. But if the market breaks below 1865, then the next level it will be going is 1833 level. So right now, I think 1833 will be a good time for you to buy back some position. Yeah, if you are short in the market like myself, then 1833, sorry, will be a good level to buy some back. Okay, all right. And for Hang Seng. Now, Hang Seng today has rallied up. Well, same thing again. As long as it stays above my KFC level, which is about 20,000, the market should be bullish. So today I need to rewire the tape right now. This is the this will be the support, and then where will be the resistance? It'll be somewhere around here. So the upside resistance could be 21,800 level, and the support will be about 21,140 level. Right, not drawn to scale, but it's somewhere around there. Okay. All right. Let's look at with my TWB indicator to get this better. Now for crude oil, let's take a look right now. Sorry, for Dow Jones, sorry. Now Dow Jones now, very interesting. My KSI has been staying red for some time, okay? My KRW have been red for a long time. So all these actually tells me the market should be coming down. But from the look at it right now in the Biden speech, I think that probably that's why the propaganda here is trying to make sure and push the market. It's because, you know, that's how the world works. So as long as the Dow Jones stays above the MLP 34,083 right now, it will be going up again to 34,295. For that is a first clear indication of the KCB, which is the technical trend level. But of course, if the market push further, we can even see 34,442. Now the downside with 33,849 because there's an MA30, and of course long haul. If you ask me, if let's say whatever is happening right now or whatever Mike Wilson says from Morgan Stanley, then it is possible to see 32,000. But let's just stick with what we see now. I think upside first, then maybe we see some resistance again. I don't know. I think that should be the way. The Nasdaq. Well, today Nasdaq opening price is actually below the pivot 2. So by default, if the Nasdaq pulls below opening price later, it should come back down. So 12,617 is the pivot 2. If the market breaks below OP, it is possible for the Nasdaq to drop all the way to 12,000 level if, let's say, the selling do continue. Now we have a very big upthrust right here. So by right, if the market pulls back, it can come back down to here. But of course, there must be a reason. And at the moment now, even though the earnings are bad, the market is still buying. So question mark, question mark, question mark. All right, KSI is red in color, but KRW is cyan color. So there's a mix back here. So that is the reason why the market is really swinging right now. And for the S&P 500, you can see pretty clear that it's also finding a target. 4140 is MLP, which is the resistance for today. Breaking it should be able to bring it up all the way to the BNB RL, which is about 4180 level. But downside, then it will be going down towards 4088. Now do note, like the Dow Jones, it doesn't have a pivot, so the opening price will be the main pivotal for today. KSI is green, but the KRW is red, so that means that it should be sideways for now, right? No clear direction yet. And of course, what we have right now is crude oil. Crude oil has continued rally. I told you guys crude oil will likely be going to test the $78, and indeed it came up, right? Because it got supported at the BNB support level, and then it went all the way up here itself. That is how it is being done. Now the only thing is this: both KSI and KRW actually mathematically shows that the downside is still there. So I'm going to tell you this: as long as the market stays above $77, it's still okay for crude oil. But if crude oil breaks below $77, I think there could be some selling. So traders, just take note of that. Yeah. Now for the currency side, right, the dollar yen is now basically sideways. It got itself heavily resisted by the pivot 1. You can take a look on the 15-minute chart. You can see this very clear. All right. This is what happened. The market went up all the way, touched pivot 1, couldn't stay up, came down. Now earlier I saw there's a very huge movement right here, and this is not I couldn't find any news yet. So it actually sent across the board. Every market was having this chart pattern here itself. Well, normally it's like that. If you see something like this happening and then there's no news, then watch the market, especially the opening price. If the market stays below opening price, that means that in this case itself, the dollar is actually weakening, and this is not a good sign, yeah, for traders. Okay. So that is the dollar yen. So if you ask me for dollar yen context, right, I think that it will be supported at the BNB RL level, and that's about 130.50. All right, let's look at the other market like pound example. Now pound has a red arrow. That means that most likely pound should be going down further. But now pound is going up, meaning the dollar is actually weakening. So that is why it should be able to contest 1.21 later. That is the pivot one. All right, that is the pound. And of course for the euro, where euro, all right, take a look here. Euro also rebounded at MLP at 1.07163. So KSI is green, but KRW is red, so mixed back, so it would not be going up too much, if you'd ask me. All right, so that is how we see the currency market. And of course, let's look at the gold and silver. Let's take a look right now. Okay, as I mentioned to you, gold, as long as it stay up, it's fine. If not, you're going to break down all the way to 1832. You can see it's right written here itself on the TWB system. Okay, so for today's DJDD, if the market stays above OP right now, it should be going back up to 1888. Okay, but because the KSI is red and the KCX are all blue lining up, so and you can see that it's a very beautiful, very clear. It is a what do you call orchestrated uptrend here. So once the market breaks below the previous low is 1869, we can see it coming down to 1862, and if we close below 1862, we can even see it coming down all the way to 1832. So traders on this gold, take note of that. Yeah. For silver, well, we can see that silver got itself heavily supported at the MLP today at $22.23. You can see from the 15-minute chart here, you can take a look. We can see that the market came down, it touches the pivot 2 and the MLP, couldn't go down, pump up again. So as long as this silver maintained upside today, first target should be at $22, okay, and 60 cents. But again, for both KSI and KCX are all in in this case is KSI red and KCX is in extremity. So by right, we should see some selling. So not too sure yet what's happening right now, but at least for time being, as long as it stays above $22.20, should be okay. All right, so that is the gold and silver, and last two is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin has came off, all right, now it's trading at 22,600. Now pivot 2 is 22,900, and this morning when the market opens, it was slightly above the pivot 2. Now once it breaks below it, the selling should bring it down to the BNB support level, which I mentioned. That's about 22,280, and that is it's about there already. So anything if it goes below this figure, then 20,891 could be next. Yeah. Now am I speaking to you right now? The Dow is actually moving higher. Okay, maybe the Dow is moving higher. You can see now the Dow is moving higher as we're speaking. All right, and Dow is going to touch the KTR +1. Okay, it just touched. So for those who are long in the market, you can consider to take some profit off the table. Yep. Okay. All right, so that is how it looks like. And last one will be Ethereum. And Ethereum itself is down, it's coming off. And very interesting, because normally if let's say the dollar is weakening, the cryptocurrency should be going higher. But instead it's not, it's going down. So all I can say is that for Ethereum, watch out for the support level at 1,600. If the market breaks below 1,600, then 1,529 will be next. Both KSI and KCX is made back, so it's difficult to give a call from the indicators. All right, so with that, I wish you all the best for trading, and hopefully things go well. No war, world peace. All right, this is Kel signing off. Bye-bye.